Hey y'all, hope you're having a good holiday weekend. I want to thank everyone that had sacrificed their life for this country, both in the military and first responders. Thank you for your service. I know they're not alive, but um, I just Jacksonville is a high military town, so we support our military and first responders tremendously. So anyway, um, the reason why I'm doing this video, I just realized this past week was my 2-year vaniversary. So I have been in the van full time for 2 years, and I don't regret it. Even in the worst days, it's the good days outweigh the bad days. As most of you know, I'm still working full time. Hoping to be this past year. I paid off the van, so I am officially a homeowner, and hope my goal is by the end of this year to be totally out of debt. Calculating it, I don't know if I'll make it, but I'll be pretty close. So that is my goal for this year, and then after that, I plan on banking for 2 years, and then travel 100% until well, and then if I have to go back to work, I will. That's just that's the plan so far. But this past May 21st was my 2-year anniversary that I've been in the van full time. Is it a piece of cake all the time? No, it's not Instagram pretty. Like with me working full time and having to stay local, there's a lot of moving around. So on the times that I can pretty much what I call decompressing and being able to veg in the van is greatly appreciated. The other night it was rainy, so I was I got to my sleep spot early and chilled out in the van and watched some movies. And I've got a bunch of movies that I have downloaded just for backup for when I don't have internet connection or don't want to be on Wi-Fi. I've got like a good 20-30 movies that I've got to that or go-tos where I'll rewatch again. Anyway, so I'm running around running some errands. I'm gonna do some projects in the van. I'm actually procrastinating from going to the gym. And it's like today's a gym day, so I'm actually going in and working out and treating myself out to lunch. I budget myself to I get one to go meal or out to dinner meal a week, whether it's something small, something big. Very rarely is it over $20. I'm trying to stay as frugal as possible to be able to fulfill my goals. Now back to my 2 years experience in van life. I'm still constantly moving stuff around. You go on a grocery haul, you put food or stuff wherever you can. Like, it's almost impossible to buy a 4-pack of toilet paper anymore. So it's like, okay, where do you store a 9-pack of toilet paper in your van? You find ways to store stuff, even if you have to break it down. Like this weekend, I'm invited to a couple barbecues, and I always try to bring something. So what can I do in a van that I can able to bring a side dish? One barbecue, I'm bringing coleslaw. I'm making coleslaw, and that's something I can go to the grocery store, get coleslaw mix, and then prepare it myself in the van. Another barbecue, I'm bringing marinated cucumbers, so that's something I can make in the van. It's like, in van life, you got to think outside. There's side dishes you can make and stuff like that you don't have to cook. So it's just like one barbecue I was at, I brought cherry tomatoes, and I cut up some mozzarella and put it in Italian dressing and brought that. So there's stuff that you can fix and make that where you do not have to cook. It's just utilizing resources, and YouTube is a wonderful thing. I'm learning how to make so many things in the van that are healthy. Like I started eating more Asian dishes, only because they're more vegetables. I'm pretty much like weaned any meat out of my diet. I haven't ventured into actually making tofu myself. I've actually been Googling some of that lately, to how to prepare it and prep it and all that. So I'm starting to eat a lot of vegetables and healthier stuff. Where and actually, like, I just brought some rice noodles from the Asian market, where I've got a drink kettle, where I can heat up a cup of water, pour that over the noodles, and then like saute them up in the pan with some I actually get coleslaw mix and use that as kind of making like a little pancit, Asian pancit. But anyway, 2 years in the van. It's a friend of mine just got into their van recently. They bought a camper van, and I told them, I said, the first year is the hardest, because you're trying to figure things out. What works for me may not work for that person or somebody else, or what worked for them may not work for me, and everybody's situation is different. The first year, it was like learning. I move stuff around constantly, and I love how I did the my van. Like, I followed Chrome, put stuff in your house, in your van, and then figure out where you want stuff, and then do your build. I'm still shuffling things around a little bit. I do want to widen my bed this year, and redo the floor. When I did the floor, I didn't the second time I took the wood floor out, because I still had the high top, and just build up the ridges as best I could, and then just threw some linoleum over the top of it, and it's worked so far, and it's still serving its purpose. But eventually I want to redo the floor. Will it happen this year? I don't know. Like I said, my main focus this year is to get out of debt. And I need to take off the time from work to do the project. And that means I have to, since I live in the van, I have to totally empty the van, be at a place where I can totally empty the van, cut the wood, do whatever, I want with it. And I'm waffling on the floor whether I just want to stain the wood and polyurethane it and leave it go as that, or put linoleum back over it. And I've learned that when you don't know what to do, if you're undecided, don't do anything at all until you finally figure out exactly what you want to do. Because there's been times in the van I did something, it's like, oh, I don't like it, or it's not working for me, or whatever, and then have to redo it all over again. So I'm sitting on that for a while until I actually figure out what exactly I want to do. Because to get the way I had to do the van, I had to buy 2 sheets of the wood floor. Previously, I had to buy 2 sheets of plywood, and granted, it was the 1 inch, I think a half an inch or a 1 inch thick plywood on the initial build. The part in the back I had to cut in half to get it to lay in the van. I couldn't get it wedged in, to be butt to butt, side to side, so it wouldn't shift. So like I said, I'm still waffling on that, on what to do. So if you don't know what to do, don't do anything at all, and just sit on it for a while. Other than that, my year 2 in the van is like I said, the good days outweigh the bad days. what I do, the only regret I have is not doing it sooner. I totally, love being in the van. Some people are forced into this situation. I did it voluntarily. It's something that I've wanted. I am happier now than I have been in my adult life. I love coming and going wherever I want to be. Like, if I don't want, I'm tired of being in this area, I can move on, go somewhere else, go look at something else, go walk a trail in a park or whatever. I know I don't videotape a lot of that sometimes. I go walk trails just to clear my head from work and stuff like that. So that's my time. And eventually when I go out full time, I'll probably start videotaping places more. If any of you have any suggestions on what to do on the floor, I'm not totally 100% if I want to do the vinyl flooring, only because I've heard stories of it, traveling around on trails, they separate and shift and all that. And so I either want to do the wood floor, stain it in polyurethane and let it go at that, or do the vinyl flooring, or the laminate flooring, or whatever I have now. It's a sheet. It comes in a sheet. I actually like it. It's easy to keep clean and all that, but I have dropped stuff on it, and without being the wood underneath, it has left little nicks and cracks in it. Not bad, it's not like cracking all along down the side, where ridge is or anything like that, but there is little nicks in it from me dropping stuff, or like my jackery drops off the, I forget to put it up, and I'm driving down the road and there it goes, it drops off of some, the counter or something. But if anybody has any suggestions on which route to go, or any, to help me make my decision, I'd greatly appreciate it. If anybody has any questions about how I'm doing working full time in van life and making it work, I'll gladly answer any questions that I can. Like I said, I'm learning this day by day as I go. I've watched YouTube videos, and I before I got started, and tried to get me, somewhat educated on what I'm getting myself into. But it's not, I do want to let people know it's not all Instagram pretty. You have those Instagram shots where you're laying on a bed in front with your doors open, watching the sunrise and all that, and those are moments. It's not 100% like that, or watching a sunrise over a mountain or something like that. Those are moments. It's not 100% like that. There are on a day-to-day, I'm constantly moving. On the weekends, I'm constantly on the move. Not only do you want to get out of your sleep spot as soon as possible, get there late and get there early. You're there to sleep. You're not there to camp or anything like that. You're there to sleep. Providing you're not in a campground. Usually I go somewhere, I clean up my van, empty my trash, either before or after work, and then running errands. You're always got to pick up something. I forgot something at the store or whatever, running here, running there, going to the gym, getting a shower, doing whatever, fixing yourself something to eat. And then so you're constantly on the move, constantly doing something. So when you get to settle down at night, you're relaxed. Now that's just the way my situation is. Everybody's situation is going to be different. I get up very, very early for work. I go to work, work 4 10-hour days, and then usually on Friday I play catch up. I go to the laundromat, clean the van really good from the week. Vans get dusty because you have your windows open, you're driving around or whatever. For some reason, even though this van has very good seals on it, it's still a new van. It doesn't even have like less than 100,000 miles on it. So it's got, I take really good care of it. The seals are good and everything. It's just it gets dusty in here, so you're constantly cleaning. you know, like I said, it's not, you know, the Instagram and pictures are great and everything. Those moments are wonderful and they're cherished, but it's not 100% like that. And so that's something, you know, I've seen stories where people get into van life and realize it's not all like YouTube and Instagram pretty, and then it's like, it's, you know, they can't stick it out. Do I think I'm gonna will I ever go back to an apartment and a house? I doubt it. If anything, I would put a tiny home on a chunk of property out in the middle of nowhere, and that would be my home base. But do I love, you know, even when I'm staying at friend's house, I stay in the van. You know, I don't, you know, I'm there to park at night, or use your driveway or whatever. You know, I stay in the van. Even when I went out to California to have the high top put on the van, I stayed at families. You know, I was visiting. I stayed in my van, and I still had nothing in it, but it still felt like home to me. So anyway, I'm babbling now. I'm rambling on. I just wanted to post up a video that this, you know, I celebrated my 2-year anniversary this week, and I still love van life. I'm sorry. It's I wish I would have started it sooner, but that's my personal opinion. And I hope everybody's having a good holiday weekend. And peace out.